Hello everyone, Colonel Tom Jackson, Commander 126th Air Refueling Wing. Just here with you today to give you a little bit of a pre-UTA check-in and catch you up on the latest and greatest of what's going on here at the 126th. So as you know, the last several weeks have been pretty busy around the world. The United States Air Force has just completed the largest non-combatant evacuation operation ever in its history, and kudos to the Air National Guard members that supported that around the world. The 126th did not participate in that. We did have some members from the Illinois Air National Guard participating around the world with that, but the 126th was not a part of that this time around. As always, we will get our chance to participate wherever is needed. Hurricane Ida. As the hurricane season is upon us, we did not get tasked for any Hurricane Ida support, but given the hurricane season does go through October, we do have Brigadier General Silvesi, our Air National Guard Chief of Staff, is currently tasked as the Director of Mobility Forces for any hurricane issues that do come up in the future, and he's on call for that. But right now the 126 is holding fast, just waiting for any particular taskings that may come down. Allied Refuge. So that non-combatant evacuation operation was an immense operation, and now there are several thousand folks here in the United States. Currently, Scott Air Force Base is not on the list to be a place of refuge, but it is a staging base for C-130s. So for those of you that come in this weekend or you happen to look across to the Scott Air Force Base ramp, there's quite a few C-130s over there from around the world and around the country that are supporting airlift requirements throughout the United States for that mission. Again, the 126 is not tapped currently for any Operation Allied Refuge requirements. We do have one POL support person up in Volk Field, Wisconsin, but right now that's all we're doing. But as always, the 126 is always ready, but luckily right now we're kind of getting back to the basics theme that we focused on just a few months ago. So last thing before we get going to the future is mandatory vaccinations. Obviously it's heavy on a few people's minds. I get it, I understand completely, but it is a DoD requirement. This is not a 126 Air Refueling Wing, Air National Guard, or even Air Force requirement. It is a Department of the Defense. It's been mandated. It is currently required right now, and a deadline for our active duty counterparts is 1 November, and for our Air National Guard and Reserve component, it's all 1 December. So for those of you on the fence, those of you not sure, or those of you that are unvaccinated, simply, it is a requirement. We will be required to get that. And for those of you that are unvaccinated, you need to start thinking long and hard about when you're going to get that and how we're going to get that. So moving forward, what's coming up? So September drill, once again with the mandatory vaccinations, we do have a shot line that's going to be available on Sunday afternoon for everyone that needs that. So that'll be available for everyone. And we'll also provide some information on what the future holds for all those parts and pieces that go along with that. Saturday, obviously the 20-year anniversary of 9/11 is now called Patriots Day. It's kind of comforting yet always unique that we typically have drill weekend on September 11th or near on this particular Saturday. So you can expect to have some moments during that day where we recognize those that were lost on that day 20 years ago. We have folks in our wing today that weren't even alive then. We have folks in this wing that were serving on that day, and folks who've gone in and some have served their entire career since 9/11. And so we'll take some time on Saturday to recognize those folks and remember those that came before us and gave their lives in the defense of freedom. We're also going to have an ops group change of command this weekend, a assumption of command for Security Forces Squadron, and Chief Kaysen from Communications Flight is retiring. So quite a few things going on this weekend, but the big theme that I told the group commanders is back to the basics. We're going to get back to the basics of what it is to be in the military and get back to the basics of getting in your units, turning some wrenches, doing some work, getting connected back to your teammates, and then moving forward. We're also on Sunday after our all call, we're going to be having a photo on the flight line, kind of get an updated photo for everybody. And so I'm looking forward to seeing everybody on Sunday morning. So where are we going forward now? So October UTA is going to be another back to the basics, a little bit more training, a little bit more build up for our nuclear support mission, our O-Plant 81X. Then November is Global Thunder, big generation exercise. We'll be getting all spun up for that. March UTA of 2022 is another generation exercise. So once again, getting ready for improving our skills on that. Culminating in May of 22 for our nuclear operational readiness inspection. The AMCIG team will be here for that, and I'm sure we'll knock it out of the park like the 126 always does. And looking forward even further is June and July of 2022. There are no UTAs scheduled. So hopefully you get planned a good summer next year, take a few months off and enjoy the time. So with that, I'll sign off. I'll see you all this weekend, and good seeing you again. Take care.